I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. My videos are about love, infinity, creation, eternity, energy, because we're infinite eternity, we infinite energy, infinite creation, infinite love. This is who we are. This is who we are. We are the human race. See, this is who we are. Been making a lot of videos today. Started very early. Been going for hours. But that's okay. That's part of purposeful daily action, commitment levels. I'm committed to this, so I'm making a lot of videos. I'm putting a lot of information out there because I've written this book. It's a visual book, so I can communicate the message to you. Share the message with you, with the world, with humanity, with all of you, because this is an important message to share. This is based on objective reality. Okay? And let's start there. What is it that, why are we infinite energy? Why are we infinite love? Why are we infinite creators? And this is a very fair question. It starts there. It starts there. So let's go to the very beginning, the root cause, the origin, genesis, the why, the reason, the because, right? The answer. So it starts with the human heartbeat. The human heartbeat. You see, the human heartbeat generates the electromagnetic field of life, the electromagnetic field of creation itself that powers the human body, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation. It's a light spherical being. We are light spherical beings because we have this electromagnetic field of creation around us that powers the human body, powers the brain, it makes the organs function so we can think, be conscious, be self-aware. Because this is who we are, this is our nature. Yeah? So it starts there. It starts with the human heartbeat. And the human heartbeat comes from the heart. So what does that mean? Well, it's very simple. It means that at a biological scale, meaning biologically speaking, our creator is the human heart. Without the human heartbeat, we wouldn't exist. There would be no human race without the human heart. As simple as that. So we live as a result of the primordial instinct to live, and that is the human heartbeat. So it starts with the heartbeat. That's how life gets started at a human level, with the human heartbeat. And it's not a coincidence that the place that gives us life, the human heartbeat, is in the heart. And what else do we do with our heart? We love with our hearts. You see, love comes from the human heart. So if you understand this notion, well, that's very powerful, because it's right there telling us we live to love. We live to love. It's our instinct to live because of the heartbeat. And then what do? Well, we love, right? Because we love with the hearts. So nature is signaling at us that we live to love. We live to love. And we love to live. We live to love and we love to live. This is what we do. Why? Because we love our creations. We are creation itself, and we're creators, and we love our creation. Because when we make love, we have children. We're creating life. See, energy is creation, and creation is life. We are energy because of the electromagnetic field that powers the human body, and it comes as a result of the pulse of life, the pulse of creation, which is the human heartbeat. So it starts with the human heartbeat. It's energy, electromagnetism, electromagnetic field. Then that creates life, which is us. So we are alive as a result. And then we love, because love comes from the heart. So it's all connected. You see, energy is creation, creation is life, and life is love, the biological scale. And we live to love, and we love to live. Why? Because we want to have purposeful lives. We want to have meaningful lives, joyful lives. We want to have fulfilling lives, happy lives. That's what we want. No one wants to live a life where they just feel bad all day. We want to love our lives. That's what we want, because it's our instinct to love. Just like it is our instinct to procreate. We make love, we have children, and then it's our instinct to love our creation. We love our children, we raise them. So the cycle of life continues. You see, this cycle of creation continues. It's just a beautiful thing. It's just the way it is, and the way it would always be. This will never change. It's just the way we are, you see. Because we love, it's our instinct to love. What does that make us then? Well, it makes us a benevolent species. It makes us a benevolent species. That's what it does. It makes us a benevolent species. Heart-based species, a heartful species, a love-based species. It's beautiful because we have the power to love. See, because love is creation, and love can be measured at the lab. It's a frequency, it's a vibration, it's a resonance, it's a rate. We can measure it. You see, it's the highest frequency that we can emit with our heart. It's the highest frequency, it's the frequency of creation itself at the biological scale. And the beauty of it is that we're conscious, we're self-aware because of the human heartbeat. And what does that do? Well, it's very simple. It allows us to love ourselves. We love ourselves, and then we can love others as a result because of empathy. Self-transcendence is beyond us, it's outside us as well. We relate to other humans, so we love other humans as well. And we love our creations, and we can also love the creations that others create. So it's full circle. We are here to love. And this is why this is important, because it's evolution. We used to be this very unaware, unconscious civilization, this species that didn't know who we were. We didn't know our nature, we didn't know our instincts, we didn't know who we were, no instructions manual, no user manual, we just were living. We didn't know that we live to love and we love to live. We were learning this as we moved forward. You see, it's just the way it is and the way it has developed, but that's okay because we have transitioned away from that into who we are today, which is a light spherical being. We understand our nature, we understand our consciousness, we understand our self-awareness. We're self-aware and conscious. We understand that we're light spherical beings. The human heartbeat creates an electromagnetic field, a force field of creation that powers the human body so we can exist conscious and self-aware. And we love. We understand that we live to love and we love to live, and we're a benevolent species. We understand this, so we have evolved into a fully conscious species that understands this notion of who we are, our nature, our genesis, our story as a race, which is very powerful because it grounds us, it makes us understand who we are, that we are infinite energy, we are creation itself, we are love, this is who we are. And this is not unique to us. If you observe natural phenomena, existence itself out there, you would very quickly start to realize that creation itself has a pattern. It's an organizing agent of creation that works in structures that work at different scales of creation, and that the geometry of it is spherical in nature. It's electromagnetic spheres, it's polarized spheres, it's conscious self-aware spheres. And if you understand this notion, then understand that infinity is shaped in this way, then you understand why we have an electromagnetic field of life and creation. And then you start to understand why the sun, which is the astronomical creator, generated the conditions so the earth exists, which is astronomical, which is terrestrial. So you see, it's a light spherical being. The sun is literally light and it's spherical, it's energy. And it has its own electromagnetic field that is gigantic, that is around it. You see, it's all spheres. And then the earth itself is an object, a spherical object, that it has its own electromagnetic field that created the conditions for life to exist here. And that's us and other species and other biological entities, organisms. But in reality, is us. Like we are the conscious, super conscious ones, the super intelligent ones, the ones that are sentient, conscious, and self-aware. And our heartbeat generates this electromagnetic field around us that makes us light spherical beings, sentient, intelligent. Our heartful nature, our heartful species is beautiful. You see, it's all spheres, it's all connected. So that leads us to today's video, which is essentially 10. Number 10, 10. So it's y.how/10. That's y.how/10. 10. Number 10. That's all it is. y.how/10. And why this number? Why this number? Why number 10? Why number 10? You would think, why number 10? Why number 10? Why that number? Why not other number? Well, why 10? Because 10 is this full idea. It's an idea that comes full circle. It contains all the numbers from 1 to 9. 10 contains all the numbers. It contains the 0. The first number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 10. All the numbers are contained within 10. Creation itself is contained, mathematically speaking, within 10. And 10 has the 0, which is, and again, creation itself is infinity itself, is the 0, spherical. You see, and it's a new way of behaving. It's understanding who we are. And I always talk about this notion of 10x love. What it does, mathematically speaking, this is the way love propagates, diffuses, is in the way of scales, and the scale is the scale of 10 because it contains all the information. It's a scale, it's factors. You see, you add a 0 to a number and then it grows in scale. It goes from 1, add a 0 is 10, then you double, then you add another 0 is 100, so it doubles in, the scale multiplies, it's factorial. Your raise is exponential, then add another 0, then it's 1,000, then another 0, 10,000, then it goes like that to infinity. You see, 0 is this exponential growth, is infinity itself. You can divide by 0 and you get an indefinite result, which means infinity, really. And then again, you can add zeros to a number and then it grows exponentially to infinity. Because 0 is spherical in nature, is the circle, is infinity. And this notion is important because our eyes are spherical, are light spherical beings because of the electromagnetic field of the human heart, because of the resonance, the heartbeat, spherical, the sun spherical, the earth spherical, everything that is in creation that has life, consciousness, self-aware is spherical. So understand that notion, what 10 represents. And 10 represents many things, many scales in reality itself. 10x love is that you share love with 10 people and you get love from 10 back, so it's 10x the love you gave, and then they give it to 10 new people, and then that's 100, and then they come back, and then it's an endless feedback loop of creation. 10x love, it just expands to infinity in that way. That's why infinite love. So one individual has the ability to create infinity because we're all infinite in nature. We have infinite potential within us, just like the 0. The 0 is infinite potential. So is us. We are infinite potential. So are us, I meant. We are infinite potential. We are infinity ourselves. Each of us, each individual. And this is why this video is so important. A new way of behaving. Because if you look at the video, at the visual, y.how/10, and then also, like, mathematically speaking, like computationally speaking, algorithms and all that, when we create like operating systems and kernels for the original computers. You see, the origin is always about the origin and how it starts. It was ones and zeros, because the 0 represented no energy, meaning the beginning, and then the 1 was energy, a sign, signal. So then 0, 1, 0, 1. See, you add energy on, energy off. So the 0 is off, meaning the beginning of everything. So without it, you wouldn't be able to create computers, ones and zeros, because you needed that, and then you started to add the sequences of the motions of the different numbers, and then ones and zeros start to generate a language and a system and software and all the things that we created. You see, even at that scale, without the 0, we wouldn't be able to create computers. So because it's that, 0 is that. It's the beginning. The beginning of what? Infinity of everything. So let's start about it. So if you look at the visual, then it's spheres within spheres. It's circles within circles. You see, in this case, you got 4 circles, 4 spheres. And then you have the outer sphere, the outer circle. And the outer circle, if you look at it, is a new way of behaving. So it's what you think. You as an individual, us, identity and true self, our true selves, the individual, the human, the creator, the compass, the sundial, each individual, what you think, what I think, that's my understanding, my notions, my perception, my reality, my beliefs, who I am, my life. And then there is a smaller circle inside of it, surrounding it, not surrounding it, like within this bigger circle, which is what you think, what I think, what you think, the individual, our reality in a way. And then there is this other circle, smaller, within it, that is what we put into words, what you put into words, meaning what we can convey, what we can communicate. And words, communication in this case, is not necessarily just verbal words like wind, like noise, like uttering things, is actions as well, because actions have a voice. The words of our actions are clear, it's the action itself. So what you put into words, what you can convey, what can you explain, the way you act, the way you behave, your actions define us, right? What you put into words. So that's that smaller circle that's there. What we put into words, what we convey, the message that we share. Us as individuals, we also mediums. We are medium ourselves. We're a message, but we also the messenger. We both. You see, this is the beauty of it. And then what you put into words is that circle, and then within that circle there is another circle. What is what you say to people? You see, one thing is what we put into words, what we make sense of, what we make meaning of. All the things, our actions, our behavior, who we are. Also what we verbalize, what we utter, what we say. But it's the actions as well, it's the totality of it. Our output, yeah? So then starts with that is what we think, what you think. Then we have that other circle that's smaller within this bigger circle, which is us, our perception, our reality, and it's what we put into words, right? In general, everything that we can put into words, we can communicate, what we convey, what we portray, the way we interact with society out there. And then after that is what, we put everything into words, into actions, what we are, our deeds, right? Our actions define us. Then is a smaller circle within that is what you say to people, what we actually communicate properly to individuals, to other objects, to other compasses, other sundials, other mediums and media, other messengers and messengers that have a relationship with us, a bi-directional, multi-directional relationship. We send and receive, we communicate. And that's what we say to people. We say it to them through our actions, through our words, becoming an example, a leader. So what they see, you see, what they see, they're perceived, because that circle itself is them and the reality interacting with us. So what they perceive from us, what they actually see, what they understand, knowledge. I spoke about it in the previous video, destination. What they see, what they understand, what they perceive. So that's what we say to them, right? What we say to them is within their resonance, within their field of creation themselves, their senses, their perception, kind of like it's communicated to them at that scale. And that includes the whole of them. See, they all have their own fantasies, their own illusions, the unconscious, their shadow, also the conscious, the self-awareness, their boundaries, the true self, everything that makes that individual just like it would make us. You see, it's an interaction. And then within that circle, which is what you say to people, what we communicate, then there's a smaller circle, which is what people actually understand. You see, what you think, what we do, our things, that's the bigger circle. Each of us have one of those. It's a bigger one. It's like our area of influence, what we can, our impact at that scale. What we think, what you think, what I think. All the influence of that in general, or all what that means, all the actions, everything that comes with it. And then you have the other smaller one, which is what we put into words, the actual things that are meaningful out of it, that are delivering a message in a way that is concise and congruent, and people can actually know that there's something there, a media actually, there. And then the smaller circle is what we actually are able to say to them out of what we put into words. Because what we put into words is not necessarily what we can explain and what we can make meaning of is not necessarily what we share and we say. So that's why what we share and we say is that other smaller circle in the... But then the final circle is that way smaller circle is just a very little circle within that circle, which is what people understand. You see, because what you think and what you know, your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding, which is all who you are, your perception, everything, might not, it doesn't really mean that that's what others are and understand and believe or anything. So it's just a very small component of everything that makes you, your perception, just a very small component of that. That's what people actually understand from their perspective, from what you're sharing. From all this that I'm sharing with you, everyone they would get something out of it, not the whole thing. That's why I repeat everything. This is why I communicate the same message again, and I try to give examples and simplify it and make it, keep it very basic, because, excuse me, because people understand things their own way, their own perception, their own thinking. So that's exactly why, I repeat and I repeat, because it's about the message and making sure the message is clear. So eventually the full idea is shared and the message can be understood. Because people understand us individuals just a certain bandwidth of what's being shared and what's known. And these are knowledge, our understanding. Based on our own limits, our own self-imposed limits, based on our own perceptions, based on our own senses, based on our own reality, what we see, what we understand, all these different things that I have spoken to you about in the past. You see, it starts with what you think, and then it goes through the different circles of kind of like information condenses, you see, and then ends up being a smaller, it's less than 10% that people actually understand in the end of what you share. So that is why it's an important notion to be clear with your actions. And that's why the best way to be is example, and example is the action. You see, what you think, what you do, what you say. With your actions, your voice has to be clear, and the example has to be obvious so people can understand it in the end. And this is the powerful notion, because sometimes we have this idea that we explain ourselves, we talk and the message is understood fully, and this is not necessarily an accurate representation. So that's why we need to be humble and understand that we need to share the message many times. We need to take action many times. We need to do everything that's why we take purposeful daily action. Essentially, we take purposeful daily action exactly because of that reason. We take daily action because of that reason, because we need to make sure that the message is communicated. We are the example, and people understand what we're doing, and the dream comes true, because in the end, everyone has their own dream. Everyone has their own way, their own perception, and everyone makes sense of things according to their understanding and their knowledge and their perception of reality. So they would only get so much of what you're sharing. So that's why we need to always take action and repeat ourselves and repeat the actions and do the same motion again and again and again, so we actually communicate the message fully. And eventually that 10% will grow into much more, 100%, and the idea will be fully understood. But it starts there. It starts small in scales, 10%, and then it grows from there, because a lot of it has to do with the individual. When you communicate the message for the first time, depending on how open and receptive the person is, then they would take so much out of it. But if they have the free will and the choice, and that's why you have to communicate the message with love, and your creation has to be loving, because when you do it from love, people resonate with love, you see, because we all feel love, and we all agree with love. This is a beautiful creation. We all agree, and then we come to terms with it, and we say, yes, that's true. I agree. I love it. I can see the value in it. So you see, that's the opportunity you have. That's why 10x love, because it starts by sharing. You see, with other 10 people, and then it comes back. And that's why it's always in these scales of 10, because 0 is infinity, 1 and 0 is kind of like, it contains all the numbers. It's almost like the way nature operates is this scale of creation, diffusion and distribution. You see, it's just the way kind of like reality works at the biological scale. So we share the message, and that's why love is important. We need to do it with love, and it has to be a good quality message, a good quality action. So when someone is open to listen, whatever they get is enough for them to get started on their journey. If they're interested to learn more, they would, with their free will, continue to learn more, and that 10% would expand into 20, 50, 100%. They themselves would make the decision to do it because you were loving in the beginning. So the message is loving from the start, and they're open. Their perception expands as they start to pay more attention to the message and fully engage themselves, and they seek to understand, they seek to learn, they seek to know. So they all, fully start to engage with the message. So that's why it's the new way of behaving, because when you start there, understanding that each individual has their own existence and their own perception, and they all take so much of what you're sharing. This is why it's so important to be loving. This is why our nature is to love, because when we love, and what we put love behind our actions, and we really love what we do, people see that. And whoever engages, they would feel the love, and they would get the message, whatever is necessary for them to get started on their own journey of self-discovery and free will. So that's why, because love does that. It allows you to reach out to people, and people feel it, they resonate with it, and they make their choices, because this is exactly who we are. This is exactly who we are. We are a benevolent species. We're a heart-based species. We're a love-based species. We're a heartful species. We're the human race. And this is why this is a new way of behaving. Exactly because of that. Because we are conscious and self-aware. We understand our nature, our benevolent nature, our heart-based nature. We live to love, and we love to live. So love is the answer, the power of love. We need to focus on that. We need to focus on love. Love is the mechanism. Love is the mechanism. So as long as we love ourselves, and we love others, and we love what we do, and we put love out there in the world, there will be humans willing to understand it and perceive it and receive the message and process it and take action, because they relate to it, because they also love just like you, and they understand where you're coming from, and they appreciate it, and your contribution, your voice is rewarded. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. We're the citizens of the Republic of planet Earth. We're the leaders of the Republic of planet Earth. We're the defenders of the Republic of planet Earth. I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind. We are infinite eternal creators. We're infinite eternal compasses. We're infinite eternal sundials. This is who we are. I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind.